Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Bob Ross. Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed. Without an Oxford comma. I noticed. And this is from director Joshua Rofe, and it's from Netflix, and this documentary is really of two parts. It's a biopic of Bob Ross, which there's very sweet, endearing story here, as it pulls back the curtain and shows a little bit of, like chinks in the armor of otherwise this like absolutely beloved and to many people just this perfect human being. Like on Fred Rogers' level of like Bob Ross is a national treasure. And this film also has a second part, which is a deep, dark indictment into the Kowalskis, the former partners of Bob Ross, and their business practices after his death, and having all the rights to all of Bob Ross's images, trying to get them from Bob Ross's estate, and leaving his son, Steve Ross, who's one of the main focus of this film and probably one of the driving forces of this film, and trying to leave him out of everything. And this film really, really works and is engaging and sweet when it's focusing on the actual biopic of Bob Ross. It's interesting, it's engaging, it's a compelling narrative, and you have this character at the center who's so interesting and different and compelling that honestly that sells the film itself. And yeah, you definitely have some moments where they pull back some of the curtain on Bob Ross and you see him as like he's a flawed human. There is some affair that they bring up in the film, and times where it's like him and his son weren't communicating with each other and had these expectations for his son to like carry on his work specifically, and you have those kinds of things, and it makes Bob Ross more human, because honestly at this point he's like a small-time deity among a lot of people. Like a lot of people love Bob Ross, and you buy all this merchandise and all that money goes to the Kowalskis and none of it goes to Steve Ross, his son. And that's where the film gets into like this is a very, very one-sided indictment upon these people. I know they talk about like they tried to get them to come on. There's very limited moments where you actually get to hear from them specifically. And there's some people that didn't appear in the film as they show because they were afraid of being sued by the Kowalskis. And it's like a horrible and disheartening story. And I just feel like there's no two ways about it. Just like it's very much like a one-sided just like hit piece on these people. And generally it's like in a documentary where you're trying to pose some kind of argument or something, you want to hear both sides. Obviously they didn't. According to them, they didn't want to reach out. Apparently they reached out after the filming was done and deny quite a few things that are posed in this film. But, I felt like this film could have just been a Bob Ross biopic and would have been sweet enough and interesting enough and emotional enough, because there are emotional moments in this film really centered around the legacy of Bob Ross and how he connected with people. And with his son specifically, who we get to hear from a lot, along with some of his longtime friends as well, and colleagues. So basically this is a film of two parts. One part works really, really well. The other part could have been done without. But when it all comes together, I feel like Bob Ross, Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed is definitely something worth streaming on Netflix. It's only an hour and a half. And it's a worthwhile experience to learn a little bit more about this man behind those happy little accidents. But those are my thoughts on this new Bob Ross documentary. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.